All right, welcome all you beautiful, smart people. You're here, so clearly that's something. Last night, Kamala Harris had her speech, her acceptance speech, filled with some things that were correct, some things that were actually pretty good, and some things that were, complete and utter lies. We're going to go through some of those and break some of those down. But I want you to argue with me. If you disagree, put your comments in the chat. Don't be a loser. All right, let's set up this first clip.
So my mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone, traveling from India to California with an unshakable dream to be the scientist who would cure breast cancer.
All right, this is commendable. Great start to the speech. Talks about her history and gives you something tangible that you can actually understand where she's coming from. So we're starting off strong. We haven't hit any of the lies yet, haven't hit anything crazy yet, but hold on, that's coming.
American, regardless of party, race, gender, on behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth.
Okay, so again, starting off strong. I don't know how much I believe every American, depending on party. Kind of seems like there's a lot of political shit on both sides. But generally speaking, very positive. But, we got some other stuff coming, so just hold on.
But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
All right, we're getting back to Trump, getting back to not focusing on our own politics, our own policies, kind of hitting back on Trump, but okay, all right, keep growing with this.
He sent an armed mob to the United States Capitol where they assaulted law enforcement officers. When politicians in his own party begged him to call off the mob and send help, he did the opposite. He fanned the flame.
If any of you out there have seen him fan the flames, put it in the comments. That's not what I saw. So here we are. Complete lie. Is it proof that Donald Trump incited the insurrectionists? That said, the people that were there, complete idiots. Complete idiots for going to the Capitol, doing what they did. Awful, awful situation. No doubt there. But to pin it all on Trump, nah, there's not enough proof for that.
Now, for an entirely different set of crimes, he was found guilty of fraud by a jury of everyday Americans and separately found liable for committing sexual abuse.
I'll give half on this one. Trump did bang that whore. And it's kind of gross and kind of cringe. And I don't like that about Trump. But found guilty, it doesn't take someone on any specific political side to see what happened in New York was pretty effing ridiculous.
As a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California, I stood up for women and children against predators who abuse them. As Attorney General of California, I took on the big bank, delivered $20 billion for middle-class families who faced foreclosure, and helped pass a homeowner bill of rights, one of the first of its kind in the nation.
Okay, taking a sidestep before we get to some of the crazy, but absolutely, this is true. She did do this, and it's a great thing. I commend her for looking out for little people, hitting back at the banks. Awesome thing that you did.
Trump tax that would raise prices on middle-class families by almost $4,000 a year.
A Trump tax that's going to raise $4,000 on middle-class families? Wrong. Where's this coming from? I don't know where she's getting this from. All the research that I've done, that's not what's on the plan for Donald Trump. Complete lie. And now we're getting more into the speech of not focusing on my own policy, but I'm gonna spend more time talking about Trump.
America, we are not going back.
Again here, so she's been in office for the last 4 years. She's been in the Oval Office for the last 4 years. And going to Trump is going back. Either option is going back. Neither one of these are new candidates. I don't care how they spin this. She's been involved in the policy. She's been part of the meetings. It's going back either way.
Back.
Oh my God. I get it. I effing get it. We all get it. Can we move past, can we move forward from this phrase?
A new way forward.
Please do.
Strong middle class has always been critical to America's success, and building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
Another one that I'll put somewhere in the middle. Absolutely agree. Strong middle class is super important. It does continue to seem like the middle class is fading away. I think that's something we've been saying probably as long as I've been alive. I don't know if I believe that is what Democrats are focusing on, but I hope that that's true.
And he will give them another round of tax breaks that will add up to $5 trillion to the national debt.
Another one that's somewhat in the middle. His tax cuts have benefited most of Americans, not just his rich friends. But it also did add to the debt, and his rich friends did also get tax benefits. So I mean, it's a bit of both. Having said all that, the best is to come. So sit tight. We're about to get into some more crazy stuff.
The freedom that unlocks all the others the freedom to vote. With this election, we finally have the opportunity to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the freedom to vote.
Finally, we have the freedom to vote right now. You know what I think is also hilarious is that in order to get into the DNC, guess what's the one thing you absolutely effing had to have? An ID. Across the globe, having an ID to vote is just generally accepted by liberals, accepted by progressives. But for some reason in America, an ID is a problem. Think about that.
I know the importance of safety and security, especially at our border. Last year, Joe and I brought together Democrats and conservative Republicans to write the strongest border bill in decades. The Border Patrol endorsed it. But Donald Trump believes a border deal would hurt his campaign.
Here we come back to the Trump derangement syndrome. Again, you've been in office for 4 years. In those 4 years where you had the tiebreaker in the Senate, you couldn't pass a bill at the border. You've had 4 years to do it. And now it's Trump's fault that you didn't do your job? Complete bullshit. I tell you this much, at my job, if I use something like that as an excuse, I wouldn't have a job very long.
We can create an earned pathway to citizenship and secure our border.
All right, let's calm down. Let's bring it down a level. I'll give her this. For those that are already in the country, if they haven't committed crimes, they're here with a family. I do think Trump and J.D. Vance's stance that we just need to get them out of the country, I think is too extreme. Especially if you just look at it from a selfish perspective, populations around the world are coming down. So to bring more people into the country to keep the population high in America is a good thing. So I don't want open borders. I want secure borders. But to just mass deport people that have already come here without giving them any path, I can't get on board with that. So I'll kind of give her this one.
As Vice President, I have confronted threats to our security, negotiated with foreign leaders, strengthened our alliances, and engaged with our brave troops overseas.
What? When has she done this? Where is there any proof that she's done any of this? I thought Joe Biden was our courageous leader for the last 4 years. So this is Kamala's doing? And on top of which, doing of what? Doing of America spending the brunt of the money to support Ukraine? Where has there been any actual push to stop this war at all?
As Commander-in-Chief, I will ensure America always has the strongest, most lethal fighting force in the world.
So I'll kind of half give her this one too. I also want that. I don't know. To me, Democrats typically have spoken about defunding the military in a sense, not completely. They like to start wars just like Republicans do, but budget-wise, they want to put the money elsewhere. And so to say we'll have the most lethal force in the world, it's different. So if she's serious about it, yeah, I'm on board with that. But I don't know that I agree. I don't know that I believe it's something she's going to really do.
And I will fulfill our sacred obligation to care for our troops and their families, and I will always honor and never disparage their service and their sacrifice.
So similar here, not something I feel like I typically see Democrats actually do. Having said that, it's something that's desperately needed. Whether you believe in the conflicts that we're in or not, we have to take care of our troops. They have made the dedication. They have made the commitment. That needs to be a focus for us, no matter where you stand on any specific conflict.
Trump, on the other hand, threatened to abandon NATO. He encouraged Putin to invade our allies, said Russia could, quote, do whatever the hell they want.
Here it is, crazy train starting to roll on. Trump wasn't looking to just pull America out of NATO. If you go back and you look, there's two things to this. One, if the other countries weren't going to contribute like America did, then Trump's point was, well, fine, we don't need you then. And think about anything in your life. If you have a group of friends that you're going to start a business with, if you're the only one that's contributing to that business and everyone else is just sitting on the couch watching TV, you're going to be upset by that. At some point, you're going to say, I don't need you. If you're not going to contribute to this thing that we've agreed to do together, I want nothing to do with it. And that's essentially what Trump was trying to say. And it's not even that he was going to necessarily pull the country out of NATO. It was more trying to force other countries to contribute their fair share. I think we can all appreciate that. So this one, complete BS, complete lie. On the other side of what she said, letting Putin do whatever the hell he wants, again, something that's taken completely out of context. If you look at the difference between the prior presidency and the one that's just wrapping up now, Trump kept Putin at bay. Trump, and look this up if you don't believe me, Trump blocked the Nord Stream 2. This was a key integral part of Russia feeling comfortable invading Ukraine. They needed a way to get their commodities out of the country. And they couldn't do that without building the Nord Stream 2. And so Trump blocked that. Biden came in and said, yeah, Putin, go for it. Finish your Nord Stream 2. So you tell me who allowed Putin to invade Ukraine. All right, I'm getting hot. Let's cool things down a little bit. Let's go to something that's a little bit more.
I will make sure that we lead the world into the future on space and artificial intelligence, that America, not China, wins the competition for the 21st century, and that we strengthen, not abdicate, our global leadership.
Amen, amen. Preach it. We need to spend more effort getting into things like AI. Absolutely agree. 100% love it. Not saying that I'm picking a side between Trump and Harris, but let's just say, should Harris be our president? Yes, please. More into AI. You may love it or hate it, and I'm certainly scared about Skynet, but the future is coming. AI is here. We need to get involved in it. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind.
5 days before Russia attacked Ukraine, I met with President Zelensky to warn him about Russia's plan to invade. I helped mobilize a global response, over 50 countries, to defend against Putin's aggression.
You did what now? I'm getting hot again. But again, I thought Joe Biden was the president. You did all this? On top of the comments that I made earlier, America contributed, it seems, pretty much just as much as the 50 other countries. So even if you did mobilize on this, what did you really do? We just spent the money. Us taxpayers have taken the burden of helping a country that didn't even want to join NATO, that refused to join us as an ally. I feel for everybody in the Ukraine, 100%. But don't forget that they chose not to join us. They chose not to be an ally with us. And hopefully, maybe in the future, that will change. But don't forget that.
President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
Okay, so again, where have you been this entire time? We don't need to bring you back into office. You've had time to resolve this issue, and you haven't. So, sorry, but too little, too late on this comment.
And that in unity there is strength. You know, our opponents in this race are out there every day denigrating America, talking about how terrible everything is.
I'll work on another video to talk about the DNC overall. But this comment fires me up like some of the other ones did. A talk of unity. There was a couple times of talk of that, but a lot of times in the same sentence juxtaposed with how awful everyone else is. So you Republicans, F you, but also, hey, I'm trying to cross lines and be unified across both sides. Don't get me wrong. Both parties do this to a degree. We're just talking about Kamala Harris's speech right now, but there's plenty of Trump speeches where I could say a lot of the same things for sure. But here, utter bullshit to pretend that you actually want to bring everyone together while in the same sentence you're just shitting on your opponents. It's disingenuous. All right, before we go
Back.
what do you think? Put it in the comments. Where have you disagreed with me? I mean, screw you for disagreeing with me. but no, put it in the comments. Let's argue about it. I'll talk with you. And I'll leave you with this, a little bit of Trump derangement syndrome.
Trump.